People of the internet, you have heard me say many times that comedy is dead. This is the worst state that comedy has been in years. And though I am not wrong, some people are very scared to say it out loud. But when I was researching comedy news, I came across an article from the Baylor Lariat. Now, the Baylor Lariat is the student paper for Baylor University. And this article really made me think about something, which we'll get at the end. But let's go ahead and read the article. Sit down, stand up. Comedy is Not Funny by Bella Whitmore. It's a big statement there, huh? Especially in this time of the 250. You know, they would be very upset. But let's see what she has to say. Stand-up comedy, for many people, is all about making an audience laugh. But for those who don't find it funny, it can feel forced, overdone, and just not amusing. The whole idea of trying to make people laugh can come across as awkward and unnatural, stripping away any real sense of humor. When a comedian steps on the stage, they're expected to deliver a practice routine meant to appeal to everyone. In doing that, though, they often lose the natural charm that might make a funny moment feel real. You're telling me I'm paying for a ticket to sit and watch a rehearsed and scripted set where your whole goal is to make me laugh? Not to use reverse psychology, but that immediately makes me not want to laugh. And I've already decided you're not funny. Man, I wonder what she would think of Joe Rogan. This is kind of weird because this is kind of like an insight into this generation coming up. Or do they not appreciate stand-up comedy? And the bigger question is, I felt like this void where I just can't laugh at stand-up comedy these days. And I remember that I would, like, just bawl over laughing, wah. And now these days I'm sitting there like, this is stand-up comedy? Which makes me think, is stand-up comedy? Yeah, people are buying tickets. Comedians are still performing. But is stand-up comedy really dead, and the only generations hanging on to it are the older ones? This is a question I'm thinking about. Like, maybe the reason is the art form needs to be taken to the next step. Maybe the next step is the YouTube videos or whatever. Maybe the art form is ready to transition, or maybe in order to keep yourself in the art form, you have to be a storyteller, because the storytellers have lived throughout time, and maybe comedy is just ready to transform. Anyways, she goes on to say, this may sound harsh, but the issue for me lies in trying too hard. The moment someone announces they're about to tell a joke, the audience is braced to expect to laugh. It's a setup, a planned situation where the comedian's only job is to get a reaction. This makes the jokes feel fake, as if the performer cares more about their delivery than actually connecting with the crowd. True humor usually comes from unplanned, spur of the moment situations that aren't trying to be funny. They just are. But in stand-up comedy, humor is the goal, so any surprise gets watered down, leaving it feeling flat. I mean, this is a rough take. I mean, with that logic, comedy, movies, dramas, anything with a planned script or trying to get, make a feeling, any production. I mean, it's just null and void, right? You basically just have to write a song and be like, well, I hope it connects with people, however it connects with people. Okay, let's just keep reading. Personally, I've never found a stand-up comedian genuinely funny. Lately, neither have I. I can't tell you one special that actually made me laugh. Made me laugh like I laugh like, oh my God, this is so bad. What is going on? But in good laugh, nothing, man. Okay, comedians' jokes tend to follow a formula, taking everyday situations and turning them into polished stories meant to pull a predictable reaction instead of real laughter. When humor gets stripped of its authenticity and becomes a rehearsed act, it comes across as artificial. Man, she does not like stand-up comedy. I feel that way. You know what? But I feel that way too, because the only comedians that I really connect with are the storytellers. The guys, like, you look at Mark Norman. I think he's one of the most terrible comics ever to call himself a comic, and he just does one-liners like, "Hey, the top is off of the ketchup. Ooh, saucy." You know, and you're just like, "Shut." Oh, you know. I don't know. I have a lot of feelings about comedy. Okay. When humor rather than reacting to something unique and personal, we're served a one-size-fits-all joke that feels impersonal. That's true. Stand-up comedy then becomes more like a transaction. The comedian says something funny and we're supposed to laugh. You could also say that maybe people just need more with all this technology, you know, like this generation is demanding something personal, which is crazy because like the comedian's supposed to know exactly what to do for you. But maybe that's how this generation has been taught and how they feel. And maybe like the thing for me is maybe comedy needs to transition. Maybe this form is dead. Maybe we need to evolve it. And seriously, don't get me started on the new Matt Rife generation of comedians. They're driving a field that was already questionable into the ground. I mean, this is like what, a girl in her 20s, and she can even see this, folks. You see, folks, the writing's on the wall here. In the end, while stand-up comedy has its fans, it can be a letdown. Hey, at the end of the day, I always say you can have so many critical people about a comedian, a musician, or whatever, but if they have their fans, it doesn't even matter. You know, look at Insane Clown Posse. ICP, man, what's going on there? But hey, ICP has dedicated fans. Okay, humor when genuine isn't planned or scripted. It's a quick joke from a friend or unexpected coincidence. The nature of stand-up, where every joke is crafted and practiced, makes it too calculated to be funny. In trying so hard to be amusing, it loses its spontaneity and the sincerity that define actual relatable humor. All of this is just to say, stand-up is why I stay loyal to the impractical jokers when I want a good laugh. I mean, we could study this. There's so much to say here, but I don't even know. Just so you know, Bella Whitmore is a senior English major from Flower Mound, Texas, with a minor in Spanish. And this lady right here can see that comedy needs something. I think comedy needs something. I think there will all be storytellers like Dave Chappelle, stuff like that. But as far as comedy, like the comedy movies have died. Like everything is signaling comedy needs to evolve. But people like Joe Rogan that aren't funny are demanding it stay in its form because they aren't funny enough to take it to its next form. They aren't creative enough. They just need to sit on their podcast, collect their check, and let the next line of comedians come and figure this out because they can't do it. They can't do it. David Lucas is too busy, rear naked. You know what I'm saying? These guys, we need a revolution, and I think we need something. We need to cut the fat, whatever. But hey, man, this great article. I mean, it's different. I have to look at things differently, but I think she sees the writing in the wall. Just came to it from a different conclusion. This next generation, man, I think things are gonna really change. Comedy. Something's a brewing. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't stay.